Hi, Jonathan. Looks like to me you've got it pretty well along. It's going to have to be cleaned up a little bit. You're in a camera view or an elevation camera view, you can click on a wall and then hit the tab key or next button. And then you'll see that you've got a wall polyline. A polyline is just several lines tied together, and that's the reason it's called a polyline, because it's made of more than one line entity. And that defines walls in 3 dimensions. So in Pro, you can select that wall polyline like I have here, and then alter it. I'm going to left click. See my cursor changes there? I'm going to hit the control button and hit the left click, and then just alter that shape a little bit and try to get rid of this junk here. I'm going to pull it in a little bit more. Okay, that's a little bit better. And that takes a little practice with the wall polylines, but in Pro is the only program that allows you to do that. Let's look at the other side. Looks like we have the same sort of thing going on the other side. Right there. Again, I'm going to hit the tab key, and it's got the same thing. You can see these breakpoints in the wall polyline, and I'm going to grab one. That one's being a little resistive, so I'll try this one up here. Move that one over a little bit. Move that one over. Ah, good. Straighten that up a little bit. There we go. That should clean up a little bit, yeah. So you got it. You followed the article and you got it right. Now there's just a little, cleanup things to do, like this area in here. If there's a bay window here, you might want to put a roof over that. And learning how to do bay windows manually takes a little practice. It looks like you used the bay window tool here. Okay. Everything in the software is controlled by dialog boxes and settings and so forth. I don't see there's something wrong here. It's probably, let me just pull this down. I'm going to see that grab handle there. I'm going to pull that down a little bit below the roof and see if that helps a little bit. Yeah, not very much. I'm going to check that in plan view. There's that. I think that there it is right there. Oh, I see. This is kind of broken up. I didn't realize it was this messed up. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. There's something wrong with this wall here. See what kind of, I'm going to go to wall types, define, and see where you've set the main layer to. The main layer, this should, see where it says main layer here? You've got 2 main layers, and that's kind of a problem. The software gets a little confused when there's more than one main layer. Got a 20 millimeters fur framing and then 140 millimeters fur framing with this chief wrap in between. I suppose you did that on purpose, but I think that's what's causing the problem here. See how this 2x4 wall is connecting to this 2x6 wall here. I'm just rounding it off to imperial because that's what I'm used to. This thicker wall skinnier wall is coming to this thick wall, and it's causing a bit of a problem. Not quite sure what some of the rest of this stuff is. kind of a funny corner there. Probably this roof plane is not the same. Yeah, see, this roof plane has a different fascia top height than the adjacent one. Where is that in the plan? I guess it would be here. I can't see the roof planes. Maybe they're on the second floor. Yeah, here's something. That's not what I'm looking at, though. Oh, okay, here it is here. Okay, yeah, these are drawn wrong. Let me show you something about roof planes. I'm going to drag this roof plane away a little bit. And you see this little perpendicular there? Let me drag this out of the way a little bit more so you can really see it. This is the baseline of the roof, and this is the pitch indicator. This is the overhang or eave edge. And these baselines are supposed to be resident on just the outer edge of the structural layer of a wall. So I'm going to use the point-to-point move tool and left click on that, left click on the baseline, and left click on the outer edge of the framing. That's where the baseline is supposed to be. The baseline wasn't in the right place. Let's check these others. I'm just going to drag this off so I can, okay, look, that baseline's way out there. See, this line here is supposed to be on the edge of the framing, so I'm going to use point to point and grab that and then put it right on the edge of the framing, right there. Didn't move. I'll do it again. Point to point, left click, and then get it where I want it, and then left click. Yeah, there we go. And then the eave edge goes out there somewhere. I don't know exactly yet. I'm not worried about that. And see, this baseline here is off in the wrong place. Get the tab key and get. Okay, I'm not getting that of the roof plane. There is one here. I can kind of see it, not that one. Maybe this is the edge of it. Yeah, there it is. I'm just going to do like the others, drag it over, and then put the eave edge outside the baseline, and then reselect that, and then point to point move that baseline, left click, and left click. Now those are properly placed. Now the next thing would be you want them all the same fascia top height. But before that, let's make sure that, let's see that they're on the same baseline. Okay, that one's 2463. Let's see what this one is. See, it's a different baseline height. And this is probably yet another one. Okay, that one's 2504. I'm just going to go with 2504. I don't know what's correct, but I need them all to match so that we get roof symmetry. So I'm going to lock the pitch and change this to 2504. I don't want the pitch to change. I just want I want these baselines to all match. But if I didn't put the radio button here under pitch, look at that pitch, it's kind of funny also. They should all be the same pitch as well. 2504 millimeters. And let's see, the pitches should be 30, so I'm just going to apply that to these and change that from that funny figure there to just 30. See, what I'm doing is just making them match and how high they are, what angle they are. Okay. Now I'm going to join the edges, this edge and this edge, using the join roofs tool right there. Join roof planes. And so I didn't join the roof planes until I made sure that they were all the same pitch and properly located in plan view, and that they're the correct fascia height. I don't know what the overhang's supposed to be, but this says 400. I'm just going to go with that. You can change it yourself later if you want to. Just have that snap onto that corner. Excuse me. Whoops. We got a funny, oh, what is that? That's the one I want. I'm just going to make these corners match. Let's take a look at that in a camera view. I think that looks better. You may not think it looks better, but it does look better. And then this roof here, these roofs would tie into it. So I'm going to click here and use the break line tool and break this long line segment here into smaller line segments. I'm going to break on the other side. Okay, I'm going to left click and left click on the line to break it into more line segments, and then, so I can reshape it. Now I've got an edge here that I can connect with this edge, and an edge here that I can connect with the other side. So we'll click on that, join roofs tool, and then click on this edge. And see how they tie together. Now they don't match. Now I don't know if your house, this height is supposed to match this height or not, but you would find out what this height is by opening the dialog and see the Fascia Top is 2490, and then I can make these match. I think I probably will. I'll grab these two, and we'll lock the pitch and change. Oops, I made a mistake. Let me just do one at a time. And we'll open that, lock the pitch, and we want to change this to 2490. 2490. So that this one and this one match in Fascia Top height. You see what I'm doing? Now I can tie this edge in. I moved the roof plane, so I need to retie those together. That looks a little bit better. Now this one here, I'm going to raise it, lock the pitch, make it the Fascia Top 2490. See, and that'll make that match. Then we'll spin it around to the other side. And we need to raise this one up to lock the pitch, 2490 on the Fascia Top height, 2490. And now I can grab this edge and use the join roofs tool and join to this other edge that I created on this side. Now we've still got a little problem up there, but it's a minor problem. I'm going to handle it in plan view. You can see kind of where these roof planes are kind of turning themselves inside out. Oh, I see, they're not straight. I'm going to parallel this line here to this wall here. We want it just outside the exterior wall. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. And bring it right up against the outside of the wall right there. And you can see where these are a little bit off shape. I'm going to use the break line tool and break that right there and take the corner off of that triangle and on both sides of these roof planes. Break line tool, and then reshape it. Now I'm going to use the join roofs tool and join that new ridge that I created there. I'll go back to the overview camera, and we got a little separation here, but we fixed that ugliness up there. I think all I need to do is just join roof planes between these two, and that should fix that. Yeah, I may have to do it on both sides. Yeah, needs it on the other side as well. Okay, it's not perfect, but I'm not quite sure what I think there's the way you define the walls here is what's messing this bay window up. I'd have to understand more on how you're building and more detail than I currently have to really have an opinion on that. There's a funny little artifact right there by the bay window. Right there. Okay, you can always find out what this goofy thing here. When I clicked on it, this roof plane here selected, so it's coming from this roof plane. Probably if I straighten that up a little bit, maybe if I change the overhang. It's a little bit hard to see. Let me check that in plan view. Oh, I see. These lines went out of whack when I joined them. What is that? Oh, I see. That's where that angle is coming from this roof plane you have here at what 81.86. I don't know what that is. What is that? 80. Okay, that's that roof plane. And these really steep pitches, this kind of roof are just kind of hard to work with. But I'm going to go back down. Yeah, these corners should match. I was just trying to get rid of that artifact. Can't solve all the problems in 5 minutes. But I've cleaned this up a little bit, and you've done okay following the tutorial. And learning how to manually edit roofs and so forth, it just takes practice. So let's click on that wall polyline. I'm going to hit the tab key and just adjust that wall polyline. Whoops, it's not adjusting very well. I'm going to pull it down some. See if I can get rid of that little wall artifact. It's being stubborn. There we go, I got rid of it. But one thing that new people, it's kind of hard for them to latch on to the reality that this is just a mechanical device, and you tell it what to do. It doesn't do things. And if it gets like this little funny little artifact right here, I don't know what's causing that, but I'm responsible for it because I'm working on this, not the software. Software works pretty darn well, but in a lot of cases you just have to figure out how to repair things. Now this little deal here, I'm going to click on it and see what selects, and it's coming from a wall down here. And it's unfortunate, but that's that's where that artifact is coming from, because I can click on it and select this wall down here. I'm just going to click on this wall and look at the wall polyline, and there's a little bit of goofiness right here, which probably is, I don't know if it's causing that, but I'm going to pull those pieces and try to make this a little more whole and see if it has a positive effect on that artifact. Okay, it did. See, there's always something you can do about something, but just take it slow. It looks like this roof plane here doesn't have enough overhang to cover this wall. It should match the edge of this roof plane here, probably, and overhang that wall a little bit more. I don't see any major problems. There's a bunch of small problems and things that you did just because you haven't learned how to use the software yet, and that's to be expected. That looks kind of crazy there, that you would have a wall with no roof over it, and that's the way it looks like that. I had to see a photograph of your house to see how that's actually built, to have an opinion on what it should look like. It looks like you've got a garage over here, but you've got a wall missing. Not quite sure why the wall's missing. But I haven't seen your house, and okay, we got an artifact right here. See, I click on that, and this wall down here selected. And there's an additional brakes here that we probably don't need. I'm going to grab that one and drag it to the corner and see if that has any effect on it. Doesn't look like it did. I'm going to get a little bit different angle. Yeah, see, there's all kind of a little bit of craziness here, and this kind of roof creates that sort of problem, and you just have to handle it. I'm going to try to make this wall polyline a little bit less complicated looking by getting these jags out of it. I'm just left clicking and dragging those jags in the wall. Now, as long as it's underneath the roof and a little jagged, I don't care. Now that looks better. But we'd have to discuss exactly how this is actually constructed on your house before I could have a really useful opinion as to why these walls look ugly and why we're getting artifacts here and here is from the roof, and that just needs the roof is going to need some additional adjusting to get it to make nice. But it looks better than it did now. And you see what I did. I just manipulated it, and mostly wall polylines, and trying to get these a little bit more nicer looking. But on a gambrel roof house, walls tend to kind of be a problem, and you have to edit them and fix them up. Well, I hope this helps you some. I haven't fixed everything, but I don't know enough information about your house to really make a lot of the decisions that I would need to make. I'd have to know what dimensions are and know exactly what the materials are, and then I could decide how best to fix the thing. But hopefully this will help you some. Thank you.